Hi friends, this is Firearmpop, and this is another in my series of armed citizen stories. This one I've taken from two real current events and some from the archives, so it's a little mixture. But the first one, the Chatham man, 85, shot in robbery. Police warn of pattern. Okay, and this is August of 12th, so this is current. In Chicago, an 85-year-old man remains hospitalized after being shot during a robbery attempt in the Chatham neighborhood, and police say there is a rash of robberies affecting the elderly in that area. The man was watering his lawn in the 8200 block of South Wabash Avenue around 1:45 p.m. Thursday when a suspect came up and announced a robbery. Police said the older man grabbed the suspect by the shirt, and the suspect fired his gun, shooting the man in the thigh. But he still managed to defend himself because he punched the offender in the face and kind of knocked him off balance. Police News Affairs Officer Robert Perez said it dazed the suspect a little. The older man was taken in serious condition to critical condition to Advocate Trinity Hospital, according to Chicago Fire Department's Twitter feed. Perez said the condition of the victim was stable. Okay. Mary Jones and her brother heard the shooting. He looks out and sees Mr. Alexander on the ground, and he hollers at the young man, "What are you doing?" And Mr. Alexander yells to his brother, "Kenny, he shot me and he's trying to rob me," she told CBS 2's Kristen Hartman. Meanwhile, police say a rash of robberies in which seniors are being targeted has hit the South Side, particularly in the police districts, which include South Shore, Woodlawn, Grand Crossing, Chatham, and Auburn-Gresham. Okay, the seniors are seen doing chores around the grounds of their homes, such as cutting grass, gardening. Police say contractors and landscapers working on property in the area have also been targeted, police say. A description of the robber and his car are the same as those for the gunman who shot the 85-year-old man. Police advise not working around the house alone and staying in well-lit areas and calling 911. Yeah, like they're going to be there, to report anyone and anything suspicious. Seniors are also urged to call the Chicago Alternative Police Strategy Implementation Office and Senior Citizens Unit and be acutely aware of your surroundings. No arrests have been made as of Friday morning, Perez said. Anyone with information is asked to call the area detectives, and gives the number. You know, first off, let's give kudos to this 85-year-old Chatham man that was able to punch his assailant after being shot, and dazed the guy enough so he got help and wasn't robbed and wasn't hurt any more than being shot in the leg, which is bad enough. He was in serious to critical condition. But you know, again, this is Chicago. This is where you can't defend yourself country, and this is what happens. And old folks or senior citizens are being targeted. It's a crying shame, and Chicago has to wake up sooner or later that the only way to stop this is to arm responsible senior citizens to defend themselves. Homeowner holds burglary suspect at gunpoint. Okay, this happened in Phoenix, Arizona. Again, this is a recent, this is as of yesterday. A 66-year-old man takes the suspect burglar and wins. Okay, police say the suspect broke into Willie John's home near 48th Street and Thomas Road Tuesday morning. John, a former cop and military man, held the man at gunpoint until police arrived on the scene to make the arrest. He says this is the second time he's confronted a burglar breaking into his home. This time he knew something wasn't right when his four chihuahuas started barking. He did know what the weapon was when he saw the eyes were that big. Okay, I didn't understand that part either, but when you'll know about it in a minute. So he knew what the weapon was when he saw the guy's eyes were that big. Says John, I reached down quick and grabbed my gun, pointed at him and told him to hit the dirt. He got down and I called 911. When police arrived, they sprayed the burglar with pepper spray and arrested him. John is thankful the crook didn't fight back because he says he would have pulled the trigger. It's either me or him, and it's not going to be me, it's my house. Police said the suspect burglar told him he was high on spice, which is a synthetic form of marijuana that is illegal. His name has not been released. Okay. Nice to hear somebody wins out in that situation. This is coming out of the archives. When Steve Manning's wife heard someone breaking into her home, she woke her husband, who sprang into action. Manning said a huge man full of rage was repeatedly charging the front with a straight arm and shouting, "Dude, you are going to get yours. Dude, you're going to get it." But Manning was not about to allow himself or his wife to be harmed. He quickly armed himself with his handgun, shouting to the intruder, "If you come into this house, I will shoot you." According to police, the man did not heed the advice, forcing the door open. Manning fired 2 shots, wounding the suspect. Manning said the shots appeared to surprise the suspect and strangely calmed him. Police arrested the suspect in a nearby flower bed. That was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. 2 assailants armed with shotguns approached a man sitting in his pickup outside his home. According to police, they ordered the victim out of the truck and, having not entirely formulated a plan, paused to consider their next course of action. One of the men decided to force the victim back inside his residence and told him to get up, said police spokesman Paul Henderson. As the victim began to stand up, he retrieved the handgun, which was concealed in his pants, and began slinging lead at the 2 would-be robbers. One suspect was hit multiple times and immediately collapsed in the street. The wounded suspect died. Police are investigating leads on the alleged accomplices. And this is in Fort Worth, Texas. Georgia Bowl Sullivan of Clinton, Louisiana, will never know if her former employee, Arthur Sanford, came back for money, revenge, or both. Sullivan was up late watching television when she heard a noise that caused her 2 dogs to start barking wildly. She took her pistol and went to investigate, but before she fully realized what was happening, a shadowy figure lunged at her. Although she fired at the intruder, he kept coming and 2 struggled for the gun, Sullivan said. He beat me with his fist. He was trying to get the gun out of my hand, but he never did. Sanford continued to attack, saying that he wanted money, until his grip finally loosened and he died on the spot from a gunshot wound to the chest. Sanford had worked on the Sullivan's cattle farm for years, but had been fired 3 years earlier because of suspected drug use. Sanford also had a history of arrest and armed robbery, and that was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm not in the nature to even kill a mouse, but if he forced it, I would do not feel guilty of any wrongdoing, said Robert Brightristle, an 84-year-old homeowner this is the 84-year-olds today, okay, in Indiana. The local police agreed that it was justifiable shooting. Brightristle had been awakened at about 1 a.m. to the sounds of his front door being kicked in. He took his pistol, went downstairs, and warned the intruder to stop. He was going to get what was coming to him. The intruder, however, kept trying to get in and eventually broke down the door. Brightristle fired once and the intruder fell to the floor. Then police arrived. The intruder was pronounced dead at the scene, and he was later identified as James Rosebush, who lived only blocks away. Police commented that it was possible Brightristle was targeted because of his age, which would lead criminals to believe he was an easy target. Indianapolis, Indiana. Amen, brother. Thanks to quick thinking of a sub shop owner in Dayton, Ohio, a robbery attempt was quickly thwarted. The manager and his wife were working the morning shift when they spotted a man with a mask and sunglasses heading toward the store with a gun in his hand. The owner triggered the security system and retrieved his gun. The employee described what happened next. The suspect got up to the counter. I was scared. I dropped to the floor. The robber, however, who was pointing a gun at the manager, did not even have time to speak because the manager pointed his gun, shot him in the arm. He fled and was later apprehended at his sister's house. He was expected to be charged with aggravated robbery, and that was in Dayton, Ohio. There you go, brothers. That's another set of armed citizen stories where people stand and protect themselves. It's a great country we live in. Most areas except Chicago, one of my first stories there, you are allowed to protect yourself. Well, as usual, you can friend me on Facebook at Firearmpop. You can visit me at firearmpop.com on the web. And be safe out there, and God bless. Bye now.